Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 26 of Untapped. So stoked. We got Levi back in the house. Let's go.
Uh,
What's the latest on you, sir?
just training full time now. Basically Monday through Friday. I'll lift like Wednesday, Saturday, and then take Sundays off. Cause right now I'm driving back and forth every day, and it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes in the morning and in the evening.
Whoa.
But because it's just the living there is so expensive, especially right now, and I don't want to pay a ton if I'm not going to be in like a great area. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get used to the area, get used to the routine, commuting back and forth, and then I think like when a fight gets closer, then because I won't be wanting to make that travel, like cutting weight and shit like that. So then I'll get like an Airbnb for a month or something.
That's good.
But right now I'm just trying to train and kind of learn the gym, the area, just kind of get in the body. You know what I mean? Because
100%.
I don't have the area really figured out yet, and I don't have like I have the gym figured out, but there's evening classes, which ones are like, do I need to be at, which ones do I not? Because I like some days they don't have evening classes. I think on Wednesdays and Fridays they don't train in the evening. That's when all the guys do their strength and conditioning.
That makes sense.
It's like the whole team does everything together.
Wow.
Like some of them train at the facility because there's Baris, you know Baris Barwis. He's a top like a high like athletic performance guy. So he's with the gym, and so they have the strength stuff there. Some of the guys do that, and then some of the guys go outside, but they all lift on the same days and stuff like that.
That's nice. That's nice. So you guys are in the same flow, probably even when that's really nice because then when you're working with each other, it's not like one guy's fresh and the other guy's tired. You guys are all in the same boat. So that can
Like
probably help one another better.
yesterday, we did light wrestling because there was like guys are beat up from because we spar on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and he was like some guys are beat up from sparring, so everybody went light yesterday, and then we all sparred. Today we did three three fives MMA, and then we did three fives on the wall MMA. So
Oh,
6 rounds, and then tomorrow will just be jujitsu, and then that's kind of it.
was there striking on the wall or was it straight grappling?
No, it's just full MMA striking and everything.
Phew. You must be doing all right. I don't see any black eyes or anything.
Last week I had a black eye, pretty big one,
Phew.
but this week I only got my nose busted one time. Last week I was bleeding every day, so it was a win.
Oh man, I wonder if
Getting beat up
that's the
pretty
problem.
good. It's just like everybody in that gym is top in Bellator, ONE FC, or UFC.
Why?
There's no, there's nobody there that's like not. The only guys that aren't pro, I think, are from Russia. There's
Gee,
a couple of Russians from Dagestan that are like 3, 4 and 0 amateurs about to turn pro.
that's incredible, man. You're on the right spot. You're right where you should be. It looks like you got some good sun in Florida too.
Yeah, we've been going to the beach. Taya's been taking me to the beach once a week, like Saturday or Sunday. We'll go basically for the full day, or we've been fishing too.
Oh, nice. Can you walk to the beach from where you are?
No, it's like a how long do you think drive? Probably the quick, like maybe 15 minutes to the beach.
Oh,
But our house is on freshwater like lake system.
nice. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. So what are you doing for those drives? Like how are you keeping yourself occupied?
Podcast. I listened to Jocko today. I listened to Tim and them's podcast. Been listening to some old like Red Hawk recap.
Oh,
Like I listened to Tim with the MMA coach at the lab.
oh
What's
yeah.
his name?
John Crouch?
No, no, Emerson. That he's a striking
Oh,
coach.
Rob Anderson. Yeah, yeah.
I listened to that one because I was watching old UFC, The Ultimate Fighter,
Yes, he was on.
and when Emerson was on there with Nate Diaz.
Yep, yep. That was a good season.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to listen to this guy. He's an interesting cat.
Man, that's
Well, he's super cool, but he's like thought he's into some like interesting philosophies and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, was he in that? Was he in the Flat Earth guys? I know there was a
Oh
group.
no, he was talking about some type of like I don't even know. I don't want to sound ignorant. Some type of like old time Marcus Aurelius type. I don't even know what he was calling it. Like these I don't even know. I'm not even gonna try and guess.
I came across the other day for some reason. Let's see, it was Nate Diaz lost to Vincent Henderson. I think it was a few years back. And I was thinking around that time, Tim was training with Vincent and was pretty even from stories people have told me that have watched him, like Big Ray and his stories.
Right.
Heard people that have seen him live, and I was thinking, whoa. So you have, imagine Tim. It's so crazy as a fighter, like all the, I was thinking, and we've talked about it a little bit, but all of the variables that go into fighting. And of course, the better you train and the better you can reduce injury and everything, the more your chances of getting affected reduce, where it takes you off the track. But with Tim, what a pioneer he is, just driving, just making trips, the Team Quest in Oregon. Everybody was learning. He's a total pioneer of the sport. Everybody's still learning. He goes down to MMA Lab. Those guys are just going all out. He's right in there with the champion, Vincent Henry this time, who beat Nate Diaz. And then Diaz is fighting Masvidal right now. So imagine Tim didn't have to make, he had to make weight at the last minute, and
Mhm.
and have it, he lost his coach, Robert Fowler. So he had to make weight at the last minute to get on to the Ultimate Fighter show. But imagine that he had gotten a little bit better coaching then, and that didn't happen, where he had to cut so much weight, and if he was healthy, he may be the BMF right now.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about like all the stuff that goes into fighting. You can just be, and I realized this a little bit at the gym. Like, there's some guys that are obviously really, really good, but then you'll see guys that it's just like anybody can be beat because if you just land one shot and it hurts somebody, then it changes everything. The one guy can be so much better than the other guy, but he just land like the liver shot on Tim in the Ultimate Fighter. It's like, okay, and then you just shut it just shuts you down.
Yeah,
So you can take a guy that's probably unranked, whatever, fight a top five guy. Chances are he's gonna lose, but there is a chance that he lands something crazy and then that changes that person's entire career, which is to me is crazy.
it is crazy because, like, you think in basketball, somebody hits a half court shot, it's 3 points. If it's not the end of the game, I mean, that's just 3 points out of 50, 40 shots in a game. But in a fight, that's not going to determine the game unless it's at the very end. But in a fight, one punch from a guy who's like a level 4 fighter versus a level 10 fighter can change everything. It's a sport
Right.
crazy. I love
There,
that.
I was watching because Kevin Lee trains at the gym too, and I was watching his like his run when he fought Tony Ferguson for the belt for the interim.
Such a good fight.
And but then well, after that, I think he lost like 3 or 4 fights in a row and then got released by the UFC.
And
But it's crazy because that fight was super close.
yep. His losses
Yeah.
on were close after that.
So he wins that fight, like the trajectory of his, you know what I mean? It's just crazy how one fight or one situation or one punch can like change everything.
No, it's so true. Man, that's incredible. And it's getting to be more too, where you have to be training at the level that you're at. You can't just train and not keep on top of your diet. You got to be dialed in on all of those areas from the start.
Yeah. I
Those guys,
think
some of
like
you guys would be interesting to learn from. I'd love to hear more about like what they do and how they came up.
what is it? The
The
Russians?
Dagestani guys you're training with?
Yeah. They're interesting. It's like they're so like aggressive. They're super strong and they're super aggressive. Like they'll cover your mouth. Today I had one of the guys in guard and I was just on bottom kind of so we were starting in guard and then I would try to get up and he would try to keep me down and held him in guard and I had like tied the back of I had like a tie on him here and he took his head and he rammed it like forehead into my sternum
Oh,
like 3 or 4 times because I was pulling on the back of his head. I'm like, that's some crazy. And then I asked him, and he's like, well, every time I do that, the guys get fatigued, and then I can get, I can advance position, whatever.
That's true. You're taking a little bit of the wind each time you do that.
Yeah, they're just super, they just train at a higher pace and more aggressive. Like just the way they think is just more aggressive.
It would be interesting to see how that continues to evolve because I just keep going back to the Benson Henderson versus one of the top Dagestani guys, how he beat him with really good jujitsu with a lot of dynamic moves, a lot of rolls and things like that. So I know there's a code to crack because sometimes just pounding the hammer and pounding the
Yeah.
hammer. I mean, you can get results, but there's also a little there's ways to beat it. It's fun to watch. I love that about MMA and the UFC is that there's always an evolution. I remember Lyoto Machida, he would just seem to be an unsolvable puzzle for a while with what he brought to the game with his karate. And then they sort of figured out and adjusted to what he was doing. And then it was no longer any mystery.
A lot of it, I think this is just a guess, but is cardio. Like in order to move that much and keep throwing up submissions and rolling and hip escaping and creating space, like to continue to do that frequent throughout a round, that's some serious cardio.
Yes. Yeah.
Because what I found, like a lot of these dudes are like today I went with a guy who's 3-time All-American at Minnesota, I think. There was a guy that wrestled for Team USA. He actually he beat supposedly he beat Meredith, I think, to get in or at the trials or whatever. He said him and Meredith were good buddies because I asked him, I was like, do you know Bryce Meredith? Like, I wonder what would happen. And he was like, yeah, we've wrestled a couple times. But just the way those guys like stay on top, and to
Same.
me, I think it's like they know what to do with the weight.
It's true.
For me, when I'm on top of somebody, maybe I get my weight too high, too low, they bump me off. Like I'm off balance. Those guys are like it feels like a blanket on you. Like they're smothering you.
Hips too. The hip flexors are so well trained. But then you're a taller guy though, still too. So that could be some of it.
Yeah. It's just those guys have they've been wrestling since they're 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when they get a hold of a leg, it's I'm in trouble.
Nah, yeah, but you're not, just gonna
Yeah. On the feet, I feel a lot better. Like I get cracked a couple times, but I at least have more of a chance. The high level wrestlers, when they get on top of me, it's not good.
what an experience and what a way to grow. I mean, look, I think about GSP. He took a year to just train with the Canadian wrestling team, and didn't have much wrestling before that. Came out of it one of the best wrestlers in the history of the UFC. So it's
Yeah.
possible to grow those skills into top level.
Yeah, I think just for me, like just keep showing up, show up,
Mm.
and then look back. Because some days I get fucked up so bad, I'm driving home, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but then you just keep showing up and don't judge yourself like day to day because you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days. If you ride that roller coaster, it's gonna be too much.
Yeah.
But just show up every day for 6 months and then look back and be like, okay, am I better now than I was 6 months ago? And then keep doing that.
It's so true, and I think that applies even maybe in a day of training. I hadn't trained for about 10 days. I was really focusing on stuff with the family and trying to travel a little bit and stuff. And yesterday I did 2 days. I've done the last 2 days in a row, and we did a little keen in the mat in a 5-man group last night. And I started off. I I wasn't sure where I was as the first time I really pushed because you know how that is. It's not just rolling live, into with an individual guy. Okay, let's take care of each other, whatever. It's like you're trying to hold court and everybody's watching, so you get
Right.
pushed to go hard. So it's the first time I've really been pushed hard like that in a while. And I held court the first two, and I was feeling really good about myself. And the third one, I gassed, and like you were talking about, and I was against this really young, good wrestler. He picked me up, threw me through the air, and I landed pretty hard, recovered myself, came back for a little bit, but man, I just couldn't hold that pace and that energy. And then I sat over the corner and was like, I'm gonna have to stop now. And in my head, that's the first thing I thought. I'm gonna have to stop. I can't do this. And it took myself, wait, why would stay in here? Everybody feels this way and keen in the mat. I had to have that self conversation to keep at
Right.
it, because there's going to be bad moments even in that day of training, and then just like give yourself a couple of seconds. Everybody else is dealing with the same thing, and get back out there and move, and that's how we grow, that's how we get better. And those are the times, that's why I love that, working in that untapped word, but pushing into the untapped, we get those opportunities training like that. I just love it.
Right. I was talking to one of the guys, AJ, can't remember his last name, Aaron something, but he fights for Bellator. I think he's number 6 at 185.
Wow.
But he was, because I was talking to him a little bit, and he was telling me, dude, because I was like, man, I'm getting gassed. When the guys take me down, and then I fight for 3-4 minutes to get up, and then I get up.
So,
Now my cardio is not only is my cardio fucked for that round, but like I still have 4 more rounds.
so
So
true.
I don't want to blow, like you have to be strategic about your sparring rounds. You don't want to blow out the first round and then you're fucked for the whole day. And he was like, dude, it's everybody though. He was like, every good fighter has to learn how to fight tired. Like you're both fighters are fighting unless you win in the first round, both of you are tired and you have to fight. So it's just about being the good fighter when you're tired.
Man, oh man, that's the love hate part of it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, man. Man, oh man. No, we miss you guys out here. It'd be cool to
How's
see.
everything been there though? Pretty good. The gym busy. How's
Yeah,
your
yeah, the gym has been blowing up. It's been good times. Uh, Business is going good. We're looking at a new kitchen space. We were working on one in town, but it's been a lot of back and forth with the landlord, and then the landlord in this building where we're at, just great people. They've been really good to us, and checking in on us, and been really lenient with us about cooking in the kitchen as we're growing really rapidly. And we need to we're at the point where we can make more meals, and get our current staff more hours and hire more staff, but we're limited by our space and what we can do in the space. So the landlord I don't know if I think he had forgotten that there was a old German restaurant, maybe just a couple 100 feet over from where we are right now, and it's like a really big space, but it's an old German restaurant that was built when this building was built in 1970. So it's kind of cool to walk through it. It's got a lot of hidden spaces and some cool things, but the kitchen is completely to the point. We got a contractor we connected with that shout outs to Jerry from our gym, father of Maddox, for hooking us up with a great guy who evaluated the place, and it has gas lines there, so we don't have that here. It has really good cooking kitchen set up already with the drain and all that. So we're gonna check it out just a little bit more. We got to make sure those gas lines are good to go, and I think we'll do it. I think let's make the move because it's right over here. But that'd be huge for business, and we're so grateful. Tim came and checked it out with me. He was really excited about it, and we're so grateful to Tim and Sean for really supporting us from the beginning, so we could get to this point, and absolutely to Taya and you as well, because you guys coming through and helping us build at a really crucial time in the business. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. And our current staff too, SB and Kaya, they've been big blessings on us. So we're excited for what's ahead. The gym
the
is huge. The gym has been a lot of people in there. This place has been Wednesdays and Mondays. This place is full. It's hopping.
the kitchen's in the same plaza or
Yeah.
different?
So
Oh,
so we got this, yeah, this little, it's the other side of the Dollar Tree store where it's got the same hallway sort of deal. I
okay.
think there's like a it's not even a Zumba studio anymore. I guess it changed the other day, and they do a kids workouts there. It's like a little gym, and they got a salon, and then in the back corner, kind of like where Die Hard is in this spot would be where our spot would be. I guess it's a little more space than we need, but then it's also kind of cool to be hopeful if we could get our permit to serve food. There's one section of it that used to be like an Oktoberfest bar in there. So
Okay.
kind of, at least we have the kitchen space, and he's going to give us a really good deal on it. And we'd still, I talked to Tim about, man, it's a little bit, we'd probably make the transition a little bit slow because we're still a little bit like, people know where to come here. They're walking by from the gym. But Tim said he thinks we put a little sign up and we can just easily direct people. It has a back door so people can park back at the door and pick up too.
Oh, nice. I feel like too. I guess you would have to. Maybe you could work it out with the landlord because normally I think on leases they'll give you like the first 3 or whatever months free.
Yeah, we're looking at
Maybe
the first 6 months is what we.
yeah. So maybe keep that one open for a month and kind of try and then send them that way.
I really want JX to get this spot. We may work something out where we would stay here for a few months and then he can slide into this place or maybe even split it with him so at least we use it as a meal location. But I think it'd be good to have one of us in the community to take the spot.
Yeah, for sure. How much longer does Tim have on the lease and stuff at the
I
gym there? Do you know?
think he's got another year, but I know that the landlord and Tim have both told me uh, that it's pretty close to Tim getting this spot. The massage lady moved out and the eBay guy is still there, but I guess they said that he was going to be moving out. So I think there's a challenge, maybe a subleasing or something. But man, to get that space where it'd be the cardio kickboxing gym and then it'd just be one big space on
Right.
the side. It's needed right now. The gym it's been this way. It was this way off and on the past 4 or 5 months, but definitely since summer hit, it's been crazy in their kids class too. Kids class
Really?
loaded, yeah.
What about the MMA classes? Is there still a lot of people or
Yeah,
same guy? Anybody new?
yeah. There's guys that I don't recognize. They had a little tryouts a few weeks back, and that brought some new guys in there. And there's a few other guys that are new blood. There's some upcomers. There might actually be a couple guys your size when you come out here, or a few more than I think there's not many. Maybe there's a couple when you were here, but I
Right.
think there actually might be a couple more guys. And I know some of the guys are trying to take a fight on a card coming up at the beginning of July, Rage in the Cage.
Oh, nice. So who's all Jimmy? Is
Yeah, Danny's
Danny?
been training hard. Jimmy's been training hard. They've been all those guys, JJ, Joe, they've all been showing up and
Yeah.
training at the beat. And Mike, I know I'm forgetting a couple guys, but definitely the guys that have fought, they've been training hard. They've been coming in there more than I've ever seen them and fighting through little injuries and stuff. So I definitely see some growth in each one of those guys in terms of hanging in there. Jakar, I talked to Jakar a little bit for the first time in a little bit, and he looks great. He's such a good
He's
dude.
gonna be getting close to fighting too here soon.
Man, he looks good. He looks like he's ready to just destroy whoever they put in front of him. But man, I've watched him he was already a good coach when him and Courtney when they came in, but man, they're cruising right now. They seem to be seasoned, elite level coaches now. So I think that really helps everybody out too.
Right, too, because I guess they're relative. I think Courtney owned a gym maybe back in before or something somewhere, but I guess they were relatively new at coaching too, so they're only going to get better and better. And they were already super. It's just so rare that you have two people fighting at the highest level, like coaching you at that early in your career.
It's so true. It's so true. And it's been nice to uh Sugar, I just can't say enough awesome things about him. He's just always so encouraging to myself and so many people. He's been around the gym more, just supporting even on his days where he's not training really hard, he kind of comes in, gets a sweat, I noticed, and um he's just those two guys are the best dudes ever. They're just
Yeah,
so really
it's an
grateful.
interesting little. I've been listening to a lot of like I listen to Chell stuff on Tim, and even my parents are like, "Tim's, you need to keep the connection with Tim. Like that's the
Yes. Yeah.
person that you need to have because they're big." And I'm like, "How do you know?"
He just keeps
But
getting better. Both those guys just keep getting better, man. Sugar's getting better. His skills are growing. He seems to be really healthy and moving well. Tim's just seems to be, I think, he's moving into a new house and or he did move in a new house, and he's just in a great spot, and they're just growing and everything.
I
It's
saw that Chell said something about Tim. If Sean wins, then Tim will be like the youngest coach in history to have a champion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, isn't that insane?
Oh, crazy.
Incredible. I mean, Chael says he was the leader when all those top guys were at Team Quest. That is just like a legendary dream team in history of all sports and combat. I know he really thinks a lot of his coach that passed on a few years back, Robert Follis, and I think that guy's
Mm.
amazing that he really was impactful on getting to. But some people are just born with that natural leadership coaching ability, I think. Just like
Yeah, there's a
Sugar and Levi's athletic thing. Man, watching Sugar's reactions, I can't even fathom his reactions when he's working on stuff. And Ezra too, I've had the luxury of watching him. He was on the last podcast. Those guys are insanely quick with their reactions. I can't even follow it.
yeah. Think how valuable that is for Ezra too to be able to train with
Yeah.
Sean this early. Because
Oh,
did he just turn pro or he's still?
I think he's about to.
Yeah.
I think he's working on that right now. But man, his I didn't realize until a few weeks ago I was talking to him that how big a role Greco-Roman wrestling played in a lot of his wrestling. And he is, I mean, working with Bryce Meredith, that's like his closest friend. And I mean, those two guys have become just geniuses in grappling and fighting. You know what I mean? To bring that into that mix. They're sitting around talking and just building. Kyler Phillips, Matrix. What an amazing dude! Just getting to know those guys a little more. Both Bryce and Kyler in the last month. Just super special, cerebral guys. Such a special team, and I'm sure you're getting that. You got the Kill Cliff FC shirt on. The same thing. It's like you're in a like-minded set of elite guys where you guys are just helping one another, not just in the physical part, but also build much other up in the wisdom and things.
Yeah, it's cool too because you have like these people like Sean would be like a striking specialist or Bryce would be a wrestling and then you have all these people like the things that Sean needs to like improve, quote unquote improve. Then he's got Bryce there and then vice versa. And it's kind of the same thing at this gym. Like you'll have this all-American wrestler and then he's working with this big time striker and they're all trying to it's cool to see kind of like the collaboration of all the people you're around. And sometimes the guys will be in the same weight division and may fight, but they're helping each other until they do fight.
It shows how awesome and wise and just good dudes at the core most of the MMA community is. And even the guys that don't seem like it, they're just trying to build their brand in their career. That might be playing the bad guy or something, but these guys they've developed such amazing bonds. I mean, you don't see this in any other sport, in my opinion, where you fight the guy, you hurt your opponent, and then you become closer as a result of it.
I think like one of the guys was saying this, when you fight enough times, you're gonna respect each other. Even if you don't like each other, if you fight 5, 6 times, you're gonna at least respect each other. So you're fighting everybody in the gym. I sparred 2 heavyweights today. Like you're going with everyone in there.
That's
So
insane.
at some point you're gonna be like, well, I don't really like him as a person, but that dude's a bad motherfucker.
Man, I hit do a little quick update. I hit a chemo today, so we're plugging along on this stuff. Radiation. I can't remember if we updated radiation. That was a success. We knocked out baseball-sized tumor. All of the cancer in this area is gone. What's crazy is I
Uh,
had this 9 years ago, the same thing on the left side, and I don't grow hair here. I don't have to shave there. Now I don't have to shave anywhere in my neck. It's just smooth. But the only problem is that it killed the tumors go on the lymph nodes. So every time I get radiation or we get rid of the cancer, it also kills the lymph nodes. So you have 500-600 lymph nodes in your body from like head to toe. And not having lymph nodes in this certain area, it makes my other ones have to work harder. So there's this thing called lymphedema, and people that even lose lymph nodes in one area, that you could eventually, if you don't stay on top of it, your lymph nodes won't work as well. Lymph nodes are a crucial part of the immune system and your blood flow. people have lost their limbs or whatever. So it's insane to me. And I know it's from the prayers, and I know it's from staying active. There's something about when I go and do jujitsu and I go and move, I don't even understand it. I don't want to go most of the time. Like, crap, I'm going to get worse. And I don't. Something there that's like a supernatural thing almost that happens where I can go because I'm missing lymph nodes. I probably missing 1/3, I estimate, of the lymph.
Wow.
So I'm super grateful. And now it's a little bit easier to hit a chemo because chemo and radiation was really, really rough on me mentally and on the body and stuff. There's been some things going on with the chemo, body's kind of adjusting and stuff like that. So anybody got prayers that this one goes better. It was super exciting time. We're moving houses. We're going to move next week on, we got to be out of our house Wednesday. This crazy thing with moving. Sometimes a house you close on, you got to get out of there before your new one's ready. So we're outbound Wednesday, and then we're moving a new one Friday. So we're going to throw the stuff in storage and sleep in TRC. But we're so
Part of it,
excited
though.
for it because it's got 7 bedrooms. It's got a couple guest houses. Even if you guys wanted, you can come out and stay. This sounds so wussy, but it's got a heated pool. Like, what the hell do you need a heated pool for in Arizona? But we become such wusses. The first year we used our pool, we've been there 3 years in this house we're selling. We were in it all the time. Like, even when it was, cold out, it'd be like April or so. Just when it was warm enough, we'd be in it. Now we're like, it's too cold. We're in like July, August. So having a heated pool in Arizona and having that option, or maybe even kind of using it as a hot tub, coinciding with the cold one, just kind of nice.
Yeah, if it's already in there, might as well take it.
Yeah, we've the challenge right now, like, I can find these, I've talked about this before, but I'm just stuck on this. This has been a huge encouragement for me, is these windows of time. And I think this coordinates with training at the level that you're at now too. Sometimes you're so beat up and you're tired, and I'm so beat up and tired from the chemos and the cancer in the body and stuff like that, that it's like almost too much. So I got to tell myself there's going to be a window of time ahead. It might even take 2 days where I'm really super sick, and I'm just kind of trudging through things. So we got the opportunity to go to Long Beach, California, and I had a good window. We just kind of woke up that day and made that I can't plan trips. So we made a decision to travel that day, went out there, ended up taking Ara to Disneyland. And oh man, I did not want to go to Disneyland at all because there's things for the body and stuff. And I'm not a huge Disneyland type of fan. I hadn't been there since 5th grade, but Ara, it had been her dream since little girl. And she never imagined she never knew anybody that went there, just had seen it on somebody's TV. So to see her there, like, just be overwhelmed. It was worth like every second, man. It was
That's
incredible.
awesome. That's crazy because she probably never even imagined
No, it was.
going
She
ever.
still says, "I'm still processing Disneyland." We had to get her the little Mickey Mouse ears and get the. And I have to be honest, I had a pretty good time there. Maybe because she was having so much fun. And they got the turkey leg and all that.
Yeah, because it's like your mission was accomplished because you're going there for her.
Yeah,
You scored big.
dude, yeah. We got about two. I got to upgrade this thing. I keep forgetting. I got about 2.5 minutes left. I was thinking of hitting another pod, maybe try to get a guest on here in a couple days. But man, man, I'm so stoked for everything ahead, man. It's exciting. There's so much to talk about. I feel we got more. We're gonna have to cram it into the next episode. I'm gonna have to upgrade
Yeah,
this and figure out with Dana how to make this thing go longer.
it's exciting times for sure. I feel like it's always exciting with us because we're always working on something.
That's right. Good work. I was thinking about that the other day, is that I can't imagine just doing one thing, like just going to work and that's all I do. It's like that life is so, I always want to be growing. I always want to be doing something else. I always want to be, if we're set to train, then you're in school still too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy. See, that makes life so much more rewarding, I think, when you always are working. It gets a little uncomfortable and overwhelming sometimes, but the results are so worth it, I think.
yeah. I always say the quote. It's a little like cliche, I guess, but the purest thing we have is water, and even when water stands still, it
Ooh,
gets like dirty and grows algae.
ooh, that's wise. That's
Well,
wise. I'm
I
taking
think I
that.
heard that from somebody, but I don't remember who.
I think you came up with it.
Yeah, I wish.
Awesome. Look, we got about a minute.
Good.
Got anything else?
I'm good to go. That was a good. I like that one. It was fun.
That's super fun. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us for episode 26. Can't wait for the next one. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Please spread the word, like and subscribe. We're trying to get out there a little bit more. I'll be on a podcast this week, 1% podcast. Uh, it's kind of a big one in Arizona, so pretty excited about that. So please check it out and support it.
Nice.
We'll be sharing that and love you guys. Have the best day ever.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yes. Are you busy this weekend?
We're going. I think because